Trump's back with tariffs again. But this time, Nicolle Wallace pulled out the receipts. "Let's do some fact-checking," she said, and boom, started wrecking Trump's claims on live TV. You don't see that every day. We're not just talking numbers. This is about jobs, car prices, and a reality check the White House didn't ask for. What did Trump actually say? And how did Nicolle and her panel torch it in real time? Let's break this all down Gen Z style.
2%. Japan, very, very tough. Great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office right over there.
Right after Trump's jumbled rant, Nicolle hits pause and goes, "Let's help the confused viewers." Cue David Gora pulling out the New York Times receipts. Turns out, Trump's complaints about trade deficits kinda cherry-picked. He forgot to mention America charges high tariffs too. Oops. Also, his farmers and ranchers' first argument. The same farmers had to be bailed out with federal cash during his last tariff war. LMAO.
Just on the trade deficits that he keeps talking about. Times reports that Trump talks about the trade deficits the United States has amassed with other countries and says, quote, "We're really not taking it anymore. The trade deficit is the difference between what a country exports and imports. The U.S. has long imported more goods than it exports." Trump said his tariffs offered an example of his administration standing up for our great farmers and ranchers. As a reminder, though, the administration had to offer special federal aid to farmers who were hurt by his trade war with China during his first term. The White House recently discussed doing that again. The 25% tariff on cars and car parts that Trump is talking about goes into effect just after midnight.
Let's talk about that 25% tariff on cars and parts. Trump says it'll protect American jobs. But economists say, nah, it's going to spike car prices. New car, add $3,000. Used car, good luck. Auto companies already warned these tariffs could slow production. That means fewer jobs, not more. And the supply chain still recovering from a pandemic. This move might break it again. Voters who just stopped freaking out about egg prices, now they're watching. The cost of lattes, tires, and tech start rising thanks tariffs.
They will lead to significantly higher car prices and could even slow U.S. auto production in the short run with supply chain issues. I want to also talk about, this is all sort of a cherry-picked selection, but the Times also with this fact check, quote, Trump is mentioning many high tariffs that other countries put on American products, but not the high tariffs that the United States charges on certain products. It's worth explaining that they are regressive taxes, that annual losses for households at the bottom of the income distribution would range from about $1,900 to $2,400. Food prices will go up 1.85%. For all of those voters who were agitated by the price of things like eggs, tariffs, and this isn't any sort of partisan analysis that we've eyeballed here, but tariffs indisputably will make things more expensive.
You know, the thing to which economists look is the Smoot-Hawley Act from 1930 that was seen as a colossal mistake by the U.S. government.
Wallace didn't just make this a policy discussion, she hit it emotionally. She called out the gaslighting. People are living this inflation. You can't fake it. Asterisk, even Trump's own past advisors didn't back these tariffs when they were in office. They called them ineffective, inflationary, and, wait for it, a throwback to the 1930s. Like Smoot-Hawley level disaster vibes, and it's not just elite talk. Regular households could lose $2,000 plus a year.
Is a colossal mistake by the U.S. government putting those broad-based tariffs in place. And I should say they were put in place by Congress. That's not what's happening here. This is the president doing this unilaterally, but of course with the support of the Republican Party, but not done by Congress. That was seen as a cautionary tale for many decades of protectionism. And so we've learned lessons from that over almost a whole century. This flies in the face of that. And so you're right to bring up the fact that if you look at that as a guideline, if you look at kind of traditional mainstream economics as a guideline here, the result of that is these tariffs are going to be inflationary. They're going to lead to higher prices. And you heard the president in his remarks nodding to the fact that his administration is focused on lowering prices and intends to do so.
Let's not forget, While Trump's talking big wins, the White House is scrambling to explain how this all works. Nicolle and Gora say it straight. There's no roadmap, no economic team strategy. Just vibes and press conferences. Also, side note, tariffs are usually set by Congress, but Trump's dropping them like Spotify playlists. Unchecked power move. Anyone? And UAW workers? Some back the move, hoping for jobs. But even they admit this could backfire hard. It's like gambling your rent money on a scratch-off.
And I thought an interesting allowance was from that worker from the UAW who was part of, I think, the founder of that group, UAW Auto Workers for Trump. He says he can't wait to see what happens in 3 months or 6 months or in a few years. I think that there is a new reckoning with, a new realization of the fact that this is going to lead to short-term, perhaps medium-term pain. And I was struck as the president spoke, as that auto worker spoke, about this blind hope that what's going to happen here is a real influx of onshoring, of bringing manufacturing jobs back to this country.
Now, let's bring in clip to Senator Sheldon Whitehouse out here dragging the administration. He calls it chaos and incompetence and compares Trump's tariffs to a smash and grab. Brutal. And the kicker, he says voters aren't confused anymore. They see the gas prices. They feel the food inflation. And now they're watching the GOP hitch their wagon to Elon Musk dancing in a cheesehead hat in Wisconsin. I can't.
The more trouble that they're going to be in, and they know that now. I mean, there was a 16, 17-point shift in those two Florida districts.
Yeah.
We didn't win them, but we cut a 30-point difference in half. So if you're in a 14-point Republican district right now, or a 12-point Republican district right now, you're looking around and saying, oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I made the point earlier, if there wasn't such a fire hose of news.
And they know it.
And they know it. But how do you keep the, your foot on the pedal?
I think, our themes have consistently been chaos and incompetence. And boy, did we get a signal gate demonstration of chaos and incompetence that is unforgettable on that. And it's been costs. And folks going into their grocery stores are seeing costs going up. They're getting home insurance bills that are blowing through the roof. The cost situation is completely turned against Trump after he ran on that. And then you've got the other C is corruption.
So where does that leave us? Higher prices, zero clear plan, voter frustration rising, and even Trump's allies secretly sweating the next 6 months. Wallace made one thing clear. Tariffs aren't strength, they're desperation in disguise. And when the smoke clears, someone's paying the bill and it won't be the billionaires. And now there's talk of more retaliation. China, the EU, Canada. Everyone's sharpening their pencils and circling back. It's giving global tax. Ping pong and no one's scoring points. Meanwhile, inside the White House, aides are scrambling, not to clarify policies, but to clarify what Trump even meant. Spoiler, they don't know either. This is the same playbook we've seen before: loud moves, media frenzy, but no follow through. And it's not just risky, it's exhausting for businesses, allies, and voters who just want consistency. And the wildest twist, Nicolle isn't just schooling Trump, she's indirectly warning 2026 voters. Don't wait for the receipts, they're already here. Let's not pretend this ends with tariffs. No, it's already trickling into the 2026 race. Senator Whitehouse literally called this a prosecutor's case, saying the jury, aka voters, will deliver the verdict. And the best part, the evidence is everywhere. Higher grocery bills, shaky car prices, Trump's wild pressers, and now Elon Musk cheese dancing across state lines like it's a meme war. This is the plot twist. Voters aren't just watching, they're documenting. TikTok, YouTube, Discord chats, you name it. The next campaign trail is digital. And this tariff chaos, it's already trending. So what now? Trump's trying to frame this as economic nationalism. But to most Americans, it's looking more like economic improv with zero rehearsal. Drop your take. Team tariff everything. Team nice try, Trump. Team Y is my oat milk $8 now. Smash subscribe, because next week the receipts keep coming.